Hey everyone, I am Nixie and welcome to January's new releases, basically what I picked up throughout the month of January, basically since my last video in December. So let's get into it. We're going to start with new releases, so what's come out in the month of January, and then we're going to go on to just bits and bobs that I picked up throughout the month. Usually I have a out of print, harder to find BL haul, which I usually do each month as well. However, this month I didn't place my order because instead I had a figure that I'd pre-ordered, so basically my budget went towards that, which actually I'll show you now what I got. So I know my camera is absolute ass at the minute, but I went ahead and picked up a Wei Wuxian figure, which is absolutely beautiful. So if you don't know, Wei Wuxian is from Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. He's one of the main characters and he is gorgeous. If you can see the detail, so much detail. I love the flow of his clothes and his hair, and I've been super excited to finally get this one. Like I say, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the new releases that have come out in January. We'll go through publisher by publisher to start with. So we're going to start off with Viz Media, and a highly anticipated manga from me is Kaiju number 8. This is volume 6. I have been highly anticipating this, like all the volumes. I just can't wait for them to come out. Like, they don't come out quick enough. I know that you can read chapters on the Shonen Jump app, but I do like to have a physical book in my hands. So this volume, the Defense Force has taken Kafka into custody and has plans to dispose of him. Kafka attempts to plead his case with Director General Shinomiya, wielder of the mighty Kaiju number 2's power and the person lauded as the strongest in Defense Force history. But when Kafka pleas fail to move the Director General, he winds up facing him in combat. What's more, he starts to lose control of his Kaiju form. Can Kafka keep it together long enough to save his own skin? If you watch my recent manga video about my top 10 ongoing series, this was of course in that. So I've already read this volume as soon as it hit my doormat, and I love the pace of this manga. This volume did not disappoint, and I'm really excited as well to see like these new characters. And this character, Captain Narumi, I love him as well, who gets introduced in this volume. He's a very interesting character and a complete badass as well. So yeah, pick this up if you haven't started reading it yet, because it is great pace, great action, and the humour is amazing as well. Like, it's spot on. And then next we have My Love Mix Up. This is volume 6 has just come out. So this is Aoki's dating Ida, a boy in his class. In order to buy Ida a birthday present, Aoki started working part-time, but now it seems Ida doesn't want Aoki to spend his hard-earned money on him. What's a boyfriend to do? This is a shoujo beat. I love this series. I love how the creator draws some of the facial expressions, especially of Aoki. Like, just some of the facial expressions, the way that the creator draws them, it just makes me giggle, and I love this. I love the interactions between these two. There is kind of like a side couple as well going off in here between their mutual friends. This is, like I say, great read, good humour again. It's a light read as well, like it's not too taxing on the brain to read, and it's just overall a good high school life comedic read. So this volume again did not disappoint. I love the way it's going. I'm just disappointed that it's only going to be 9 volumes, I think. And then that's this series wrapped up. I would love to keep seeing these two for more than 3 volumes longer, but I've really been enjoying this series. Next up we have Before Chainsaw Man. So this is 17 to 21. So this is the originals of the Mad Genius. who created Chainsaw Man. This short story manga collection features Tezuki Fujimoto's earliest work. It's rough, it's raw, and it's pure Tezuki Fujimoto. Alien invasions, high school romances, and even bloody vampire action. All this and more awaits in 4 compelling short stories that reveal the starting point of Tezuki Fujimoto, the twisted mastermind behind Chainsaw Man. I have read this as well, and I would love to be in his mind, like what he thinks of. Like he is one interesting character, I'm just gonna say that. And I love seeing like where creators came from, like where their starting points in their art came from, and they're like very early on ideas, because obviously it shaped them as a creator and as a person, and you can sort of see how they've evolved obviously along the years. Like he says, it's the earliest pieces from Fujimoto, and it's weirdly wonderful. Like there's Blind Love, I think, was probably my favourite story in this. Like it had me giggling because it's so silly. And I love as well like how we get Fujimoto's like perspective on the stories, like when he sort of like wrote them, what inspired him to write each like little story and stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend this, just because like he is a weirdly wonderful mind, and it's certainly entertaining, but sort of like a bit silly, a bit out there, not to be taken too seriously sort of thing. So yeah, it's definitely one for like open mind. But if you're familiar with like Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, all that, then you know what you're sort of in for anyway. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There is going to be a second volume, which is like 22 to, I can't remember what age, but it's like the next lot of his like one-shots as well before Chainsaw Man, which obviously I'll be picking up as well. But yeah, definitely pick this up. It was certainly an amusing read. So that's the new releases from Viz Media, so not many at all that I picked up this month. So next we're going to move on to Seven Seas, which Seven Seas has been killing it with their licenses. I've also like, especially recently, they've been coming out with more and more. So we've got a few from Seven Seas. The first one is No Longer Allowed in Another World. This is volume 1. It was pushed back, but finally it's out. So this is a second life in another world with cute girls by your side and video gaming powers. Sounds like a dream, right? Not so for a certain melancholic author who would quite literally rather drop dead. Honestly, all the fantastical adventure is just getting in the way of his poetic dream of finding the perfect place to die. But no matter how much he risks his hide, everything seems to keep turning out okay. Will our terminally depressed hero find a lease on life in this cheerfully bleak isekai comedy? Now, even though it's kind of like a dark concept, like our main character here, he literally does just want to die. The way that it's written is quite funny, and it did have me giggling a bit, like, and if I'm being completely honest, like, some of the things is quite relatable, like his attitude and stuff. I've certainly like sort of like relate to some of the things that he's like says and how he feels, but the way that it's written like does bring that comedic spin on it. So even though it is a dark subject, it still makes it a good read as well. So it's not like really depressing to read. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I do like his character, the way that he's written. Like I say, even though he just wants to die, he's quite a charming character. So I'm excited to get the next volume and see where this goes. Next we have a Yuri, so Girls Love. This is My Cute Little Kitten. This is volume 1. So a budding romance between female roommates is spurred on by the rescue of a rambunctious kitten in this Yuri Girls Love rom-com. By the beloved creator of Girlfriends, Rina has had a crush on her roommate Yuna since college, but Yuna's never noticed. One night Yuna brings home a tiny kitten. Even though their apartment doesn't allow pets, Rina decides it would be better to let Yuna find her own place. But when Yuna says she wants to stay with Rina forever, Rina's feelings are forced to the surface. Can Rina make Yuna understand that being together forever really means? So this is a cute GL. I did enjoy this as well. It's kind of along the typical sort of like GLs that you do see, that's like cute friends to lovers type trope. It's got a kitten in it, so I was sold. But like I said, it is cute and I did enjoy it. Like I say, there's nothing like completely special about like the storyline and stuff, but sometimes that's good, that you get kind of what you're expecting, like a cute girl's love. And that I do enjoy a friends to lovers trope as well. But yeah, so I recommend this. Like I say, I'm all for kittens as well, anything with the cats in it. So yeah, I did really enjoy this, and it was, you know, not too dramatic and not toxic or anything like that. So yeah, if you're looking for a new GL to pick up, then I do recommend this one. Like I say, I enjoyed it. Next up, I have been looking forward to this release. This is My Secret Affection Volume 1. How cute is that cover as well? I love a matte cover. They're my favourite covers. I love them. So yeah, how cute is that? So this is ever since the day 30 years ago when a strange meteorite crashed to Earth, heterosexuality disappeared. Life changed drastically and the world embraced same-sex relationships. After Kazuha Takanashi is dumped by her girlfriend, she is astonished to find that the new object of her affection is her child friend Ayumi. But he's a boy, and not only that, his grandfather was in space the day the meteorite hit, which made him the world's last heterosexual. How can Kazuha navigate these newfound feelings if no one else around her feels the same? This was super cute, quite wholesome. Again, sort of like the way that they interact with each other. You know, you kind of think that actually maybe she's not the only one that like has these feelings. So it kind of gets you rooting for them, but obviously everyone else is supposed to be gay, and she's not. So obviously, like, that makes her scared about obviously telling anyone about how she actually feels. But yeah, super cute so far. I'm excited for volume 2 as well, to see where this goes. I like the characters are in it, especially the granddad. But yeah, so if you're looking for something a little bit different as well, then definitely go ahead and pick this one up. Okay, so this one literally hit my doorstep as I was getting ready to film. And this is Momo, the Blood Taker Volume 3. I'm so excited to finally have this one as well. So this is the man with two faces has arrived at Detective Mikagami Keigo's old police station bearing a powerful anti-vampire weapon. Meanwhile, Keigo considers his next move for catching a glimpse of what life would be like with Momo. So obviously I haven't read this one yet, but I've really enjoyed volumes 1 and 2. There's a lot going off. There's bits of action going off, but I feel like that it is probably going to start ramping up a little bit with interactions and the man with two faces as well. We're probably going to see a lot more of him, I feel like. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the first two. If you're into vampire stories, don't hesitate to pick this up. It's been really good. They are thicker volumes as well, so you know you're not going to be done within 2 minutes of reading this. And I love the covers as well, like they're all cohesive, they're all like this with the portrait of one of the characters on the front. So yeah, go ahead, pick this up if you like vampire stories. Next up we have another GL. This is Azumi-chan is interested in lesbian brothels, volume 1. So this is sweet but awkward college student Azumi never got over her childhood crush on her old friend May. Their first and only kiss couldn't have gone worse, so when she learns that May may be working at a nearby brothel, she sets her sights on redemption. But there's one catch: none of the women on the brothel's website use full photos or real names. Thus begins a journey of self-discovery and sexual exploration as nervous Azumi sets out to find her one that got away. It is explicit, obviously, if you can tell from the storyline as well. And this is from Seven Seeds Girls Love line as well, which they released. And it's quite nice that, like, it is quite a cute story anyway, but it is quite nice that there is a GL that is more explicit, that isn't just the cutesy like interactions and stuff. Like, they kind of really get in there a little bit, but this was a fun read. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next volume, so you can pre-order 2 and 3 as well. If you are looking for something that isn't just that like wholesome cutesy GL that sort of like gets down and dirty basically, then go ahead, pick this up. Like I say, it's a really fun read, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen between Azumi and if she does manage to find May as well. So yeah, if you're into GL Yuri, go ahead and pick this up. It's something a little bit different that you could add to your collection. And then we have Entangled with You, Garden of 1,000 Grasses. So this is once upon a time Marcel's sister injured herself in the forest while gathering herbs. Marcel was at a loss for what to do until a fearsome horned man appeared, offering help in exchange for a promise. Now 10 years later, Marcel returns to the woods, steeling himself for death. Instead, he finds himself something quite different, a gentle soul, friendship, and perhaps something more. I really enjoyed this volume. This is just a one-shot, so done and dusted in this volume. I really liked these two characters and their interactions and stuff. Like, it was so wholesome and so cute, that it kind of had me a little bit on edge, because I was like worried that something horrible was going to happen. It was kind of like going to tear these two characters apart, but it didn't, thank God. And it was a really pleasant read. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. So what it doesn't tell you, like in the synopsis, is actually that story is about half of the manga, and then there's a couple of short stories that are included in this as well, and then sort of like an extra chapter of the main story between the two characters again. So I didn't realise that obviously when I picked it up, but just to let you know. But it's definitely worth a read, because I really enjoyed it. A lot more than what I thought I would actually, and I do like the artwork as well that's in it, especially the character design of this horned man. So here you can see the two characters as well. But yeah, really pleasant read. This is from the Boys Love line from Seven Seas as well. But yeah, pick it up if it sounds like something that you're interested in. It was a very pleasant read. And then next we have Barbarities Volume 1. This is a matcha extrude cover and I love it. I love this cover as well. This is again Boys Love line from Seven Seas. So this is, in its beautiful boys love BL romance inspired by Renaissance Europe, a dashing viscount tries to woo a serious nobleman. When Lord Montague's life is threatened, Adam Cannon is assigned to be his bodyguard. Adam is a blonde dashing nobleman who is able to woo anyone who catches his eye. When he sees Lord Montague's nephew Joel, Adam is immediately smitten, but Joel is too busy rooting out crime and corruption to fall for Adam's charms. Of course, that just makes Adam want him even more. Can Joel stay focused, or will he fall for the devilishly handsome Viscount? I love this first volume. I believe there's going to be 4, so it's a short series. I love these characters. Adam, which is this guy as well, he's so funny. And he's such a like free spirit in the world. But yeah, it was good humour. There is obviously a more overall plot that's happening in the story. Like it says, the Lord Montague's life is threatened, so there is a bigger plot happening. But these two interactions are hilarious and so funny that it really made this volume like enjoyable. So yeah, if you do like boys love, if you're interested in it, then get this. It was so enjoyable. It does have some explicit scenes happening in there, but yeah, the humor was great in this. Next up we have I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. This is volume 1. So this is Hanjiro is a rookie actor trying his best to land a breakout role. He fears that his weight stands in the way of his dreams. One day he gets some unexpected fan mail full of sweets. The package comes from Konosuke, a local pastry chef. Hanjiro has his first fan. Someone is supporting his work and giving him new confidence to face the stage with. This was so cute. I love this. This is so warm and wholesome, and oh god, it was so cute. I love it. I can't wait for volume 2, and I can't wait to see more interactions between these two because they are, oh god, they're honestly so adorable. That's all I can say about this, is adorable. Non-explicit, at least so far, but the tone of the manga, I don't think that it's going to be. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next volume. Now, the complete opposite, we have The Titan's Bride Volume 2. So Koichi and Caius have been caught up in a beastman's trap while traveling through a furrow looking for the elusive racer fruit that will cure Koichi of his raging illness. Chaos certainly doesn't expect an ambush. Some shady beastmen think there'll be an easy heist, but unfortunately for them, stealing Koichi away was the worst choice these two could ever make. As a captured Koichi still suffers through the unbearable heat brought on by the Karina fruit, he's left to wonder will he and Chaos ever reunite and return home. I'm sort of caught up with The Titan's Bride beyond this volume, but I do love these two characters and their character development and relationship development. It really is pleasant to see how they evolve together. It is very explicit, so keep that in mind. It's for mature readers, it's uncensored as well, so just keep that in mind if you are looking to pick this up. But I do like the overall story between these two. It is an isekai story as well. But yeah, I really enjoy this. It's one of my favourite BLs, so if that sounds like your cup of tea, go ahead and pick it up. Next we have Pulse Volume 2. So this is illustrious heart surgeon Mel never could have predicted how much her life would change after she seeks Lin as her patient. The bubbly young woman needs a heart transplant, but will only accept having surgery on one condition, that if Lin can make Mel fall in love with her, then Mel will be her surgeon. Lin intends to pull out all the stops, showing up on Mel's doorstep ready to move in. Steamrolled Mel can only stand in shock as she watches her life take a path she never expected. So this is on Lezen. It is full colour, which is nice. I haven't read this one yet. I've still yet to read the first volume, which I really need to do. This cover is gorgeous though. It's really cute. And I have heard a lot of good things about this series. Like I say, it's on Lezen. I think it's completed already on Lezen. Next up we have Erha Volume 2, so The Husky and his white cat Shazad, Volume 2. How beautiful is this cover, by the way? I love these colours. So the longer Moran spends in his life reborn, the less he understands the man he once was, to say nothing of the teacher he so hated. As Emperor of the Mortal Realm, Moran loathes Churannin with all of his being, but the Churannin of this life has sacrificed himself for his students' sake time and again. Nevertheless, the day of Churannin's greatest betrayal on the horizon, Moran clings to his hatred and his hopes. He must not let the past repeat itself. Yet strange new tragedies continue to unfold, and Moran finds himself working alongside Churannin to hunt down the mysterious culprit, a cruel mastermind who may know more about Moran than even he remembers. Just keep in mind, while this is a good series, it's a great series, that if you are familiar with MXTX's work, Heaven's Official Blessing, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, those are not like Erha. This is more, they've got more trigger warnings and there's a lot more emotional damage in this story, so just keep that in mind if you are going to pick it up. But it is a great story. If you are into Danmaze, then go ahead and pick it up, but just go in with a bit of caution. And then lastly, from 7 Seas, we have Thunderbolt Fantasy Omnibus Volume 2. Again, I love these covers as well. So this is: in bygone times, the sword of divine retribution was used to strike down demons and bring peace to the world. Now it is nearly in the grasp of the evil Xuan Jinzon, a sect of devious martial artists whose master will stop at nothing to possess the ultimate blade. 8 brave companions have gathered to prevent that doom from falling upon the world. Together they must face a gauntlet of challenges. Yet the ultimate fate of their mission may lie in the hands of Shangbu Huan, a wanderer from a distant land whose past is mysterious as his blade is mighty. I'm still working on the first omnibus. I'm like halfway through, but I'm enjoying the story so far. So this originally was printed in 4 singles. So there's just the 2 omnibus, which collects all 4 volumes. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. I like the artwork that's in it as well, and I like the pace of it so far. But like I say, I'm probably like a volume into the story as of yet. Okay, so next we are going to move on to Yen Press, and this first one was kind of a bit of a whoops order from me. I thought that it was a manga. It's not. It's a light novel. So we have Bride of the Barrier Master, Volume 1. So this is: long ago Japan was protected by 5 crystal pillars. Though 18-year-old Hana was born to one of the branch families that defend the pillars using supernatural abilities, she has lived in the shadow of her brilliant twin sister Hazuki from a young age. When Hana finally awakens to powers of her own one day, however, she opts to hide them out of the desire to complete her high school education in peace. That is until Saku, the arrogant yet powerful head of her family's primary branch, falls for Hana and forces her into signing a marriage contract with him. But can Hana rise to her true potential under the wing of her husband-to-be? I thought this was manga. It didn't actually say when I pre-ordered it that it was a novel. But I'm still going to give it a go and still read it. I may as well, now that I've got it. It's not that thick. Shouldn't take me too long to get through it. But it did sound cute, which is why I pre-ordered it. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with this. Next we have I Want to Be a Wall Volume 2. So this is Yurika and Gakuruta recount their first meeting and proposal to a curious Suzuki. Their first impressions may not have been the best, but once they got a chance to have a proper conversation, it turned out they had more in common than they thought. I went in to pick up volume 1 of this because I still haven't got it and they didn't have it. So obviously I haven't read this volume yet, but I've heard only good things about this. So yeah, I'm just waiting to pick up the first volume before obviously I can get into this one. But like I say, it sounds cute as well. And then we have Carnival Volume 14, which I love all the covers from the Carnival series. This is the final volume. So Kafka's hidden passageway has been found. Circus agents Eva and Hiroto attempt to sneak in so they can shut down Kafka's operations once and for all. Meanwhile, Azulka is desperately trying to save Nai from certain death at the hands of Yoro, even at the cost of her own life. I'm still waiting for a couple of these volumes to come back in print, because they are out of stock at the minute. So I'm like partway through this series. I am enjoying it. It's been a good story so far, and I do really like the artwork. I like this bigger print size as well, like with these like thicker, more omnibus mangas. I feel like that they're nice to read and they're quite flexible as well, so you're not going to break the spine. So yeah, like I say, I'm just waiting for volumes to come back in stock before I can get as far as the last volume. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. Moving on to Sublime. I've been waiting for this volume to come out, and I'm so happy that it's come out and it came out early. This is Cast Heaven Volume 8. This is the final volume. So school is hard enough as it is, but when students are forced to play a cutthroat game to determine their social ranks and subsequent treatment, all bets are off. Karina slips up by publicly shielding Azusa, the target, during Enna's frenzied public hunt for him. Branded as a failure as a king, Karina is quickly dragged from his throne, and once again, Class 2-1 must play the cased game. Then, 10 years later, after their tumultuous high school days, what futures have Azusa, Karina, and the others been able to make for themselves? I'm so sad that this series is over. It was like one of my favourite. If I was going to do my top 10 BL series of all time, like this would be in it. Because I love this series so much. There's so much like emotional damage in this, and it's an absolute roller coaster. Like volume 3, I think it is in particular, like really got me. So it's been personally, it's been a fantastic series, but it's not for everyone. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this, like non-consensual behavior is a massive thing in this. So like just keep that in mind. This is one of the more trigger warning heavy series that Sublime has licensed. But I have absolutely loved it, and I always get sad when obviously a series comes to an end, but I was very satisfied with the way that this ended and their stories. So yes, I've very much enjoyed this series. And then we have another highly anticipated release for a lot of people. We have Given Volume 7, which has come out a little bit early as well. This was like supposed to come out early February, I think. So Matthew continues to drag his heels about making the decision whether or not to go pro, causing Haruka to worry that snagging Ritsuka for his own band may have hurt the singer, but Shizuzumi throws Hiragi for a loop when he asks out of the blue if he too was in love with Yuki, forcing Haruka into a confession he isn't ready to make. Honestly, it's going to take me a little while to get around to this because Given has I don't have trust in Given. Let's just say that, because there's something about this writer where the stories they create, like, they cut deep. There's like things that happen that really do like leave emotional scars, and that's exactly what happened with me, like with Given. From what a lot of people like make out, because obviously it's a really popular series and it's loved by so many people, is I went into this under the impression that it was a lot more wholesome than what it is, and I came out of it with emotional damage, and it took me quite a while to get over it. So I honestly, this is not like at the top of my TBR list. Eventually I'll get around to it. Like, I'm sort of like on the fence of whether I want to let this series finish, so I know whether it's going to be a happy ending. But like the creator said that, you know, it's not, this series isn't about loss, and it's more about grief and learning to get on with life after loss. But yeah, it still hurts me. So that's Given Volume 7. Next we have Just the One from Tokyo Pop. This is our Not So Lonely Travel Planet Guide, Volume 3. So super serious Shizumura and laid back easygoing Mizuki might seem like an odd couple, but they made a deal. They'll vacation around the world, and when they get back to Japan, they'll get married. As they travel from country to country, the different people, cultures and cuisine they encounter begin to bring them closer together. After all, they're not just learning about the world, but about themselves too. Now, this series quickly went up into like my top 10 ongoing series, because it ticked so many boxes for me so far, and there's only 3 volumes, and I feel like it's only gonna get better, and this makes me weirdly emotional. Like, I have a lot of difficulties like expressing like deep emotion and stuff like that, and for like this really gets me in my feels and makes me emotional. And it's not sad, it's not a sad story or anything, but I just love the true interactions between these two, and like how they are learning to be together while they're traveling around and like overcoming fears. and you find yourself really like feeling a connection to these two characters, and you're really rooting for them, like you just want them to be happy together. And also, this is some of my absolute favorite artwork, like the way that the author goes into like detail, like even just like this, like in bed, like all the bed sheets and stuff, like the patterns on it, and like the environments and stuff. Like you can really tell that they've put in a lot of effort into creating these places, and like even the cuisine, like even the food that they eat. You know, there's so much that's gone into like creating this story and to creating their adventures, to really give the reader a feel of that they're actually there with them and experiencing these different people, these different cultures, different countries, and all of that sort of thing. And it really is a beautiful story. Like, I love this so much. It is non-explicit, at least so far. We do get a bit more backstory to how these two characters actually met, and how they sort of felt when they did meet each other. But yeah, it's such an underrated series. Like, not that many people talk about it, and more people need to talk about this, because I absolutely love these two, and I'm already anticipating volume 4. Okay, next we have Akuma. So we have Happy of the End. So this is from the creator of Your Rich and Bitch Club and Escape Journey, Daisy Jealousy, Amber Neon Lights. I love the way that Kuma presents their manga. You get this dust jacket as well, and you always get some like artwork on the front as well, like on the actual manga. But Kuma's probably one of my favorite like publishers for the way that they present their licenses. So this is Dazed and Confused. Chihiro awakes on a pile of garbage with memories of weddings still fresh in his mind. When out of the blue, a young man named Kito appears before him. Instantly, he then recalls the night he spent with this person, the booze, the hotel, the punch to his face. Chihiro may not have a place to call home currently, and Kyoto may not be a good person by any means, but maybe the two of them could be happy together. So like I say, this is the first volume. This had been pushed back, so it's finally released. There's quite a few trigger warnings, which, to be honest, if you're buying something from Kuma, expect trigger warnings. Like, they don't tend to license cute, wholesome stories. There's lots of trigger warnings in this. It's not like by BC or Escape Journey. It's definitely a darker toned story so far. So just bear that in mind. There is talk of minor sex work and non-consensual behaviour. So yeah, and obviously violence. So keep that in mind. But I did enjoy this. It's uncensored, explicit, definitely for mature readers. But I do hope that these two characters can find happiness in their life, and hopefully they can find happiness together as well. So I'm excited for volume 2 to come out. I hope it comes out when it's scheduled to. But I love this creator's work anyway. I love the way that they draw their characters. Like, they've got a really distinct style, and the characters are just so beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite like art styles in BL, because like I say, the way that they draw their characters, they just make really good looking characters as well. So yeah, pick this up if you aren't opposed to trigger warnings in your BL stories. Definitely check it out. And then we are moving on to June. We actually have a couple of releases from June, which is nice because they are kind of a little bit slow with like licensing and printing. At least I feel like. So first off, we have Deadlock Volume 4. This is the final of the series. So this finally comes to a head as a scuffle between Yuto and Bibi finally sets off an all-out war between the Black and the Chikango gangs. Desperate to avoid danger as the massive riot envelopes the entirety of the prison, Yuto and Dick take cover in a storage room where Yuto is faced with the astonishing truth behind Dick's tragic past and his plans for the future. Come with me, Yuto. Torn between the sweet temptation to go with the man he loves and his sense of obligation towards his mission, Yuto is thrown into turmoil as he struggles to make up his mind. Should he go with Dick or should he stay and fulfill his duty? This also includes the side story Restful Slumber, which follows Dick as he makes his escape from prison. So like I say, it's only 4 volumes. I haven't read any of the volumes yet. I sort of have waited because I have got quite the TBR list. So with things like this, I tend to wait until all the volumes are out and then I'll just binge through them. But it is a loved story by quite a lot of people. It is popular. And I do wonder if we are going to get the extra stories. There's a couple of novels and stuff like that about life after deadlock sort of thing. So I do wonder if we will get those licensed in English as well in the future. And then we have something I've been waiting for eagerly. It's finally here. I was pushed back, which was it was hard news to take, but we finally have Twittering Birds Never Fly volume 7. So this is 4 years have passed since Yoshiro's fateful battle with Hirata. Having left the family, Yoshiro now makes a living as an investor of an underground casino. However, despite Yoshiro no longer being tied to the family, Musume still visits him in the casino from time to time in hopes that Yoshiro might change his mind and return to the Shinsekai. Unlike Yoshiro, who was removed himself from the Yakuza world, Domoki on the other hand is fallen deeper into it. Having been abandoned by Yoshiro, Domoki now works as a full-fledged member of the Yakuza under the Shamonkai's Shikura family. Separated and in their own respective worlds, Yoshiro and Domoki have not seen each other for 4 years. However, when a certain incident forces their paths to cross, will these two lovebirds' time, which appear to have stopped, begin to move again? Now, I'm not usually a fan of time skips. I get frustrated with time skips because I kind of think there's all of that time that you could have been together or working on things and you've just spent it apart. But actually I didn't mind it too much with Twittering Birds. I think because it's not it's the last volume, it is still ongoing. And I really love this series. If I was doing my top 10 BL, this would be in it because it almost made my top 10 out of any genre. It was really hard to choose and to choose not to put that in there. But yeah, I really enjoy this series. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing because there is a lot of characters, a lot of gangs and different characters coming here, there and everywhere. So sometimes it does take a bit of concentration to remember exactly what's going off. And because there's quite a big gap between volumes, it's been once a year I think, with volumes coming out, so it's been going on for a little while as well. You kind of have to go back and reread stuff, but yeah, I love this series. Lots of trigger warnings. Yoshiro is kind of a messed up character. So excited that this is finally out, like I say, one of my favourite series. And then we have a new license from June. This is Pure Love Sexy Time. So this is Psychedelico, who did Love Full of Scars. So 4 mischievous friends have finally met their match, their own hearts. Now that they're in high school, the only troubles these country boys seem to find themselves in are the ones that make them moan and pant. First there's Q-chan, who wants to confess to Kishi, but is full of heart-pounding doubt over Kishi's reaction. Then there's Mitsuru, the serious one, who's pining for a lost love when he is suddenly ambushed by Toru, an obtuse airhead sadist who's full of nothing but pure devotion to his darling. And finally, just who is this tall boy beating everyone up, and why is he surrounded by flowers? What exactly is his motive? Psychedelico comes out to play in this exciting volume of pure love 60 times. So this is ongoing series, I think. So like it says, it's like intertwining couples throughout the story. I haven't read this yet. It is explicit, so it's 18 plus. But yeah, you can pre-order volume 2 as well. I don't know how many volumes it's going to go on for, so I'm excited to get into it. And then we are moving on lastly to Kodansha / Vertical. So the first one that we have is the number 6 omnibus edition. So these collect 3 volumes of the original. So this is volumes 1 to 3, as you can see, is big boy. This is number 6, the singles. So as you can see, it's definitely a bigger print size. It is nice and flexible, so you're not going to break the spine, which we love. So number 6, this classic dystopian manga returns. Experience the story of 2 boys who uncover a terrible conspiracy and turn city number 6 on its head in 3 collectible 3-in-1 omnibus editions featuring extra large pages. So an elite student named Sean lives a seemingly perfect life in the city of number 6, where life is carefully controlled down to the last detail. However, everything changes one fateful night when Sean offers an injured young man shelter from a storm. Known only as Rat, the boy is a VC, a fugitive living outside the computerized tapestry of city control, and helping him throw Xian's life into chaos and starts him down a path to discovering the appalling secrets behind the superficial perfection of number 6. This is a really popular series. It's not a BL, but it has those like undertones to it. And it's a great story as well. If you haven't checked it out, definitely pick it up. There's going to be obviously 3 of these omnibuses, and I believe they're all going to be released like first half of this year, I think, slated to. But yeah, I love this like bigger size. Like I say, it's nice to sort of like get into these bigger pages where you can really see like the artwork. But yeah, so if you are thinking about picking up number 6, go ahead, check these out, or you can still get the singles if you wanted to, if you weren't a fan of these bigger sizes. But definitely check this one out. And then we have Cherry Magic, 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard, ? It's complicated. A 30-year-old virgin gets more than he bargained for when his new found magical powers reveal he's the object of his male co-worker's affections. Pure and innocent businessman turned reluctant wizard, Adachi has long last found a person he can't stand to be apart from, Kurosawa. Of course, as a couple, Adachi and Kurosawa are more in love than ever, and when Adachi, unable to keep his secret about his magical powers any longer, just blurts out the truth to his boyfriend's face, he's surprised to find that the big reveal deepens their bond even more. But while their love for each other can withstand shocking revelations of a supernatural nature, will their relationship be able to overcome long distance when Adachi is informed that he's getting transferred to an office 800 miles away? I'm still missing a couple of volumes. I'm like partway through this story. So far it's been super cute, and I love the interactions between these two. This one is rated mature, which I don't believe that at least to where I'm up to hasn't been rated mature, so just keep that in mind. But I've loved these two and their interactions and stuff, and like how their relationship's been blossoming, so I'm excited to pick up the missing volumes and get into this one as well. And then next we have one of my favourite reads this month, and that is Love the Answer, which is a decent sized volume. So this is a one shot done and dusted in this one. So this is a poignant coming of age story about a young woman coming into her own as she discovers her identity as a romantic asexual. A complete story in a single volume from the creator of Minkun is asexual. When it comes to love, high schooler Chika wonders if she might be an alien. She's never fallen for or even had a crush on anyone, and she has no desire for physical intimacy. Her friends tell her that she just hasn't met the one yet, but Chika has doubts. It's only when Chika enters college and meets peers like herself that she realizes there's a word for what she feels inside: asexual. And she's not the only one. After years of wondering if love was the answer, Chika realizes that the answer she sought may not exist at all. And that is perfectly normal. I loved this volume, and I feel like that if you are questioning your sexuality, or you think that you could be asexual, go ahead and pick this up, because it has, I feel like, a lot of information in that would help a lot of people out if you are, you know, kind of a little bit lost. And it sort of reassures you that, you know, you're not gonna be the only person feeling how you're feeling. Such an enjoyable read. Like I say, I learned a lot from this volume. That, you know, asexual, that there isn't just asexual, like it's kind of like loads of different types, like that's kind of just one term. So if you kind of on the fence, like, am I asexual or not, like this could answer some of those questions for you, and it's done in a way that's like really easy to understand as well. So this was, like I say, this was a really good read, and I really enjoyed it. One of my top reads for this month. So go ahead, pick this up. It was really great. And then we have another GL this month, which I was highly anticipating, and it kind of took me a little bit aback, this one. This is Run Away With Me Girl, Volume 1. How cute is this cover though? Beautiful. So this is a dramatic, funny and painful romance manga between two women about how sometimes you need to run away in order to find where you truly belong. Perfect for fans of coming out Yuri. Maki's first love was a high school classmate, a girl named Midoriya. But Midoriya broke up with Maki at graduation, saying they were now too old to be fooling around dating girls. 10 years later, Maki still can't get Midoriya off her mind, and when the two women reconnect after a chance encounter, Maki realizes that while her feelings haven't changed, Midoriya's life has turned upside down. She's engaged and pregnant, but the more Maki hears Midoriya talk about her soon-to-be husband, the more red flags she notices. Before Maki can stop herself, she asks Midoriya to run away with her. Will this impromptu escape be the key that leads the two women to a fuller understanding of themselves and back into each other's arms? This, I wouldn't say that it was really funny, if I'm being honest. Like, that wouldn't be a word that I would describe this manga. For me personally, this was quite triggering for me. Like, it hit a bit too close to home with some of the themes and some of the things that happened in this. But I also think that that's a good thing as well, because it makes you connect to the story and the characters a lot more, at least in my opinion, even if it is triggering. There are like trigger warnings in this that obviously I didn't realise going into it, but there is like domestic violence, like cheating and toxic behaviour, and yeah, like I say, it was quite triggering, but I really enjoyed it, and it made me want these two characters to win even more, basically. So I'm excited for volume 2 to come out. I think you can pre-order up to volume 3 so far, so I am gonna be keeping a close eye on this story, because like I say, I want these two characters to have a happy life together, and to work through their traumas and just be happy together. That's all I want for these two characters. But yeah, so this was not like a wholesome story that I was thinking it was going to be, which is actually quite nice as well, because like I said earlier on in the video, that a lot of GL Yuri manga is quite that cutesy, wholesome stuff. So it's quite nice to have something that is like kind of like off the green and off the beaten path. So if you want something different in your collection, like especially if you're into GL, then go ahead and pick this up, but be warned, it is kind of triggering. And then last one from Credential Vertical. This is What Did You Eat Yesterday, volume 19. I believe it's the longest BL series that is ongoing. We're going to get a few more volumes, which I am not complaining about. So What Did You Eat Yesterday is best described as part comic, part cookbook. It depicts the romance between two 40-year-old men and the many meals they share together. In the narrative, a hard-working middle-aged gay couple in Tokyo come to enjoy the finer moments of life through food. After long days at work, either in the law firm or the hair salon, Shiru and Kenji will always have downtime together by the dinner table, where they can discuss their troubles, thrash out their feelings, and enjoy delicately prepared home-cooked meals. Now, I spoke about this. This is definitely in my top 10 ongoing manga series. So if you want more information on that, or if you want to hear more about what I think about this series, then go check that out, that video. But I love this. It's such a relaxing read and so enjoyable that it is kind of like a more mature couple that are like they're more like comfortable in their ways, sort of thing. And it's more of like just the everyday kind of life and interactions for a more mature gay couple. And I love this series so much. Fumi Yoshinaga, I love their work and their series that they do. So I'm excited to get into this. I haven't read it yet because I'm missing a volume and I can't find it anywhere. So yes, I'm hunting down that so I can carry on and get to volume 19. Like I say, we're going to get a couple more volumes this year as well already. But yeah, I freaking love this series. And then the last new release I have from Eyes Press is The Boxer Volume 1. I love this cover, like how simple but effective it is. So this is, he doesn't have the same hunger for superiority that drives every human being. Yu lives his life without joy or purpose. All aspects of the young man are a mystery to those around him. Save for his superhuman athletic abilities, Yu has rhythm, grace, and power on the level of the top pound for pound fighters, and his potential is too much for the legendary Coach K to ignore. Taking the young prodigy under his wing, the two shock the world of boxing fight by fight as Coach K attempts to make Yu the greatest of all time. But what exactly compels you to keep entering the ring? So this first volume I enjoyed way more than what I thought I would, and it's a lot darker than what I thought it was going to be as well. So obviously it's a boxing story. It is full colour, but like in these sort of like muted tones. But yeah, dark. A lot darker than what I thought it was going to be, but really enjoyable, and I'm excited for the next volumes to come out. I can't remember exactly where it is that you can read this, whether it's like on Tapas or Webtoon. If you wanted to get them digitally, like you can find them online. But yeah, I'm super excited for the next volume. Like I say, I enjoyed this way more than what I thought I was going to. And then that's it for new releases. So we're just going to quickly run through the already released manga that I picked up this month as well. So we have Avant-Garde Yumiko, which is a girl who is obsessed with seeing dick, which sounded funny. I heard good things about it as well, so I picked it up. Romantic Killer Volume 1. This is great and totally relatable. She just wants to play with a cat, eat chocolate, and play games. So totally relatable. I enjoyed that. It's also full colour, which we love. It's only 4 volumes as well. I'll go into only be 4 volumes, so quite a short series. I picked up the next one that I needed of Beastars, so volume 4. Great series so far. It's going to be 22 volumes, I believe, and it's coming to an end really soon. If it's not already been released, but I've been really enjoying this so far. I picked up Prince Charming Volume 3, which was the last one that I needed. It's an older BL, a little bit harder to find, but you can still find Prince Charming. Like I say, it's just 3 volumes. Then I picked up Kisses, Macaroons and Lonely Pie, which is from Kuma. So trigger warnings and explicit content there. And then from Sublime, we've had some restocks finally. So I picked up Awkward Silence Volume 1 and Volume 6 that I was missing. And also Love Stage is now back in stock. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So that is me complete now finally. I do enjoy this. And the anime is great as well, but this is for mature readers, this one. And then also as well volume 6 of Strange and Mystifying Story that I was missing. Just waiting for volume 2 to come back in stock. And then we have a stack of shoujo beat that I was missing that has come back in stock. So we have, as you can see, Nana volume 1, 2 and 6. The only one that I'm missing that I haven't been able to order is volume 7, and then once the rest of them have been reprinted, which is scheduled end of, well, any day now, and a couple in March, which I've already ordered. Yeah, number 7 is the only one that I'm missing. Then we have Takani and Hannah's. I have volume 12, 13, shiny, 17, volume 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm just missing a couple of those now, but they're in stock, I just need to pick them up. And then finally, which I know a lot of people have been excited about, finally coming back in print, we have Kami-sama Kiss. So this is kind of not in order, but we have 21, 22, 23, 24, 16, 17, 18, 19, 10 and 11. The only one that I am now missing is volume 9, which I'm just waiting to get to me, but they are finally back in stock. I love Kami-sama Kiss. It's such a great story, and I've been really enjoying rereading it as the physicals have been coming in, and of course it's an anime as well if you wanted to check that out. But like I said, I'm kind of looking to expand my shoujo beat manga in particular as well. So that's kind of what I've been doing with these, getting some of the longer series. So that is it. That's everything that I picked up in the month of January. Like I say, I didn't do my out of print BL haul because obviously I got Wei Wuxin. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me rambling on. There's been so many great new releases this month that I've thoroughly enjoyed. So let me know in the comments down below which ones you've picked up, or which ones you've really enjoyed this month, or things that I haven't picked up that you recommend I should pick up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it would really help out the channel, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye everyone!